Top 20 movies of 2025.
And number 20 is Knives Out 3, which is just like a fun mystery movie wrapped into this like political commentary, and shout out to like the Catholic theme in it, which I think after like a pretty rough second film, I think this is kind of bringing the franchise back to what made the first one so amazing. And number 19 is Good Boy, which is just like a really unique horror film that you can feel it was made with so much passion, even with the exposition where it shows kind of how the movie was made. And while it's not like the most like horrifying horror movie ever, it just feels really real, and I think the theming and what it's actually ultimately about is really powerful. Number 18 is Begonia, Yorgos being Yorgos, Todd being creepy, and Emma being Oscar-y. And number 17 is Weapons, which blew up a lot, which I really think is because of how they structured this film into several different chapters following different characters into this giant narrative that leads to ultimately a satisfying ending, which kind of culminates in like the whole themes of the movie and everything that it's about. Number 16 is Friendship, which is just so unserious, and I know it's like not what everyone loves humor-wise, but it worked for me, and I think it's just so unserious but like low-key kind of real. And number 15 is Sorry Baby, which is just a really powerful movie about the reality of living with trauma framed in this melancholy kind of style, throwing in like dark humor and different things to really make these characters feel so genuine and real, which makes it even hit harder when you kind of understand what the film is ultimately about. And number 14 is Sinners. Like, I think vampires are just mad corny in any media I see, so it's hard for me to like that aspect of the film. But regardless, everything else is so peak when it comes to the characters, the acting, dialogue, just the atmosphere, the cinematography, the music, just the set design, the costuming. Everything about this movie is so peak, and it's really an enjoyable, unique package, even if I just like the horror stuff didn't completely work for me. And number 13 is The Long Walk, which had the worst trailer, but somehow made like 90 minutes of dudes walking in a straight line amazing. Even though Mark Hamill's performance felt kind of low-key like rage bait, with how campy and like, I don't know, unfitting he felt in the film. Everything else works so well, and any movie that's like kind of talking about like late stage America kind of gets a W in my book. Number 12 is Freaky Tales, which definitely feels like a Reddit kind of made movie, but if you go into this completely blind and you look at the different chapters of what this movie is and kind of its like over the top commentary on what it's talking about, it's such a like fun, exhilarating ride with some just like amazing moments. And number 11 is I'm Still Here, which I think technically came out in 24 but 25 in the States. It's just a very powerful movie about the indescribable resilience of a mother trying to keep her family together in just a really dark point of history. And number 10 is Sentimental Value, which like I don't even know if I could tell really what this movie is even about, but I think a movie that is about making a movie that doesn't actually feel performative or pretentious is such a win. And like this movie is really just fundamentally about your relationship with your family and how you can use different excuses, trauma, work, or whatever to kind of run away from some deep rooted issues in your family. And it's one of those movies that like it's definitely like an artsy movie where you have to really be into like the performances and like really the messaging of this movie. But if you are into this kind of thing, it's just so moving and powerful. And count down to how many times I've said powerful in this thing. And number 9 is Train Dreams. Beautiful, powerful, quiet, patient film. And it's just such a moving movie about trying to find your inner peace despite all the horribleness that may go around you, and just being a genuine good person and trying to put good in the world and just find happiness in the simplest of things. And number 8 is Marty Supreme, which I feel like Safdie's on a generational run, just trying to make us question whether their leads are even like acting at this point, or if this is low-key just like how they be. These characters get lost in their performance. Chalamet, I don't know, it's just like an anxiety-inducing movie, just like uncut gems and good times. And it paints the picture of like how a narcissist is really, really well without kind of beating you in the face with it. And number 7 is One Battle After Another. It's such a surreal, dark comedy drama. It's just one of those movies that really just lives by just this amazing screenplay. A weird mix of comedy and drama and suspense and intense, all wrapping it with great performances all around it, and everyone feeling like super unique and weird. It's just like a really surreal kind of universe that he created here. And number 6 is Neja 2. I feel like every frame of this movie is just like horror farming with just like how beautiful it is. It takes a classic like hero story, but when you are able to elevate that just from beautiful animation, from fun writing, phenomenal music that's accessible for all ages, and it just hits with some like really powerful movies. Like this is just such a theater going experience, and And number 5 is Roofman, which I feel like is a movie that's just been really slept on. Channing Tatum does like an amazing himbo job in any movies he's in because he brings like all the charm and still has like the depth that he needs in order to paint these characters who end up actually being real life people. It's kind of like an insane kind of story of a person living in a Toys R Us, but it's really a story about a dad going to any length he can to provide for his kids, going against the grain, and seeing how the world kind of victimizes people and paints them in a negative light when they're really just doing what they can to survive. And number 4 is Eddington, about a story of like this small town Arizona in basically 2020. And like, I know everyone's kind of tired about hearing that period of time, and I didn't think this movie would completely work for me, but like it's just the realest movie I saw this year. And like, I know it's satire, but like nothing in this film, even kind of the insane moments, feel like it's that fictional nowadays. It escalates more and more, and I think every single moment, all the dialogue, all the character interactions are what like makes this movie so powerful, because you can never really guess what's coming next. And I think just the build up that keeps on getting insaner and insaner while still being extremely real and kind of a commentary on like everything that's going on, it just hits really hard. And number 3 is the Chainsaw Man movie. It takes a lot for like an anime movie to be one half just really a romance film, and then the second half being kind of like crazy action and everything. For a shonen anime to like accept that kind of pacing, it doesn't matter what part of the movie you're in, you're just like locked into the screen. Whether it be through the visual storytelling that they're doing in the fights, or whether it be foreshadowing that they give with different allegories or different imagery and everything. Everything is like really moving into like a really powerful, picturesque movie. And I also vibe with everything that Denji was going on, but small flecks of going there with my actual girlfriend and coming out and being like, damn bro, like I'm so happy to have you. Number 2, I know, is K-pop Demon Hunters. People be hating on this just because it's popular, and like it's just creative use of animation. It's universal storytelling of surrounding a theme of acceptance and being yourself. And like I don't like K-pop, but like the music actually was pretty fire in this movie. So like I know the movie is just over talked about and everything, but it's actually pretty amazing.
I love how that unironically ended up being like your top, like your number 2 movie.
Do you hear that? That's for glazing, because my girlfriend was one who made me watch K-pop Demon Hunters. I actually hit her up on Hinge and said, hey, we should watch this because I saw your profile was K-pop and anime. And then I had to kind of pretend like I really was hyped for that movie. And then I actually watched it and it was great. And then number 1 is Rental Family, a movie about loneliness and authentic human connection. That motif is just something that hits me personally a lot as someone who just struggles with that. And I think Japan being the setting for a lot of the movies that hit this theme is really fitting for me. When I go to movies, like, I'm known for being that guy who just like locks in, stares at the screen, it doesn't show a single emotion, but then I'll be like, this movie changed me. And for a movie like this to actually make me cry in the theater, it was just like a really moving experience. I saw this one alone, ironically, and I just left the theater kind of standing there on the balcony reflecting. I think just an amazing performance from Brendan Fraser, from all the cast here. And I think it tackles on like a real epidemic about how our current day society disregards a lot of like that authentic human connection that we yearn for, the sense of community that we be needing. And even though I never really rented a girlfriend or anyone or family, I think the messaging still just hits home for a lot of people who have ever felt that sense of being alone or not having all the people around you that you really wanted. So yeah, that's my top 20. Thank you so much for watching, and stay watching.